Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy JadeJonny back with another video. Today we're going to be talking, I'm going to be doing a story time. I'm just going to be talking and talking, watch the gameplay, because I like ripping off people who I like to watch. Kappa, not really. But yeah, kind of, sort of. But yeah, so I actually have very horrible memory issues. Like, I've taken a lot of concussions when I was younger, and so I have a bad, like, time remembering, you know, stuff that has happened when I was younger. So I know that it's going to continue to get worse as I get older. Or at least I'm scared it is. I haven't seen a doctor since I was like 18 about this, because honestly I haven't really been worried about this. But at the same time, there's a lot of memories that like I hold very near and dear to my heart, and I kind of like want to get them on recording so that way, in case I somehow am not able to remember them anymore, I would like to be able to look back at it and still be able to remember it, you know? So that being said, one of the most near and dear memories to me is when I started playing Cardfight Vanguard. And now, I'm a card game player. This is a card game channel, so I figured this is a good place to put this story. But so back when I was 19, 18, somewhere in that range, I was 18, 19. I just graduated high school. I had been gone to college, and my fiance moved back to California, and I wanted to move with her. This was like a huge change in my life, and honestly, I wasn't ready for it. But at the same time, I couldn't bear, you know, like I had lost my family in the process of, you know, being with her. And I couldn't lose her too. So we ended up moving back to California, and one of the things that I did every day was I'd go to Starbucks and I'd sit there and I'd play games on the computer. I would, you know, listen to music. I'd talk to people. I'd kind of just like socialize while I was there. Made a lot of great friends. But one of the things that really stood out to me is I've always been a card game player ever since I was like 6 or 7. Is what my mom tells me. I was like 6 or 7. And I've always been an avid card game player. You know, back when I was a baby, I'd collect Pokemon cards, or a toddler, I'd collect Pokemon cards, and back then, you know, like, yeah, I'd collect cards, and I would always play with my brother. We didn't know what we were doing, but we'd always play. We'd hide Pokemon cards around the house, we'd play. But I've always been an avid card game player. And so there were a group of high schoolers, maybe college students, young college students, old high schoolers, playing a card game, and me, being like the card game enthusiast I am, didn't recognize the card game, because like I play Pokemon, I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I play Kaijudo, I play Magic. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my god, is that some like new kind of like is that some new kind of card game? So I go up to them, I'm like, hey, what you guys playing? And they're like, we're playing Cardfight Vanguard. Okay, for one, if the card game has card in the name, I'm instantly hooked. Let's do this. I don't know what game this is, but let's do this. So I like start watching them, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, I don't understand the rules or anything. I don't understand anything like that, but I'm seeing the pictures, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. And they're like, yeah, you should check out the anime if you're interested in getting into it. Now, at this time period in the anime, this is G series, early G series. This is like a month or two before G Guards came out. Because I remember just the fact that G Guards were going to revolutionize the game, and everyone talking about online how G Guards were going to revolutionize the game, about how they're going to have double G zones now, and they could revolutionize the game. And I remember hearing about this, and I'm like, okay, cool. And that's like one of the big things. That's how I remember when I started playing, is because it was a month before G Guards came out, and everyone was hyped about it. So I start watching the anime, and I'm hooked. And then we get to the Link Joker arc. I haven't bought my deck yet. I've looked at all the clans and stuff like that, so I knew Link Joker was a thing. And I specifically looked at control clans. The 3 control clans were Gear Chronicle, Mega Colony, and Link Joker. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, these are really cool. And then I saw Link Joker, because I'm a control player by nature. Like that's I can play every single playstyle, but I prefer control because like I'm definitely a lot better at control than the other ones. So I go to control. I instantly go to the control, and then I see the space theme, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. This is so freaking cool. So I tell my fiance, I'm like, I need these, and she was like, are you sure? She's like, you play like so many card games as it is. Are you sure you can handle another one? I was like, yes, yeah. Spoiler alert, I could handle another one, but it also may have run my marriage, but whatever. So I start playing Cardfight Vanguard. we order 2 decks. We order her a Mega Colony deck because I wanted 2 control decks, and she's kind of interested in learning how to play. And I ordered me a Link Joker deck. So I'm over here playing Hafnium Legion. If you guys don't know, Hafnium is a horrible Legion, and to this day, Radion is one of my favorite cards of all time because of the fact that, you know, I played Hafnium as my first deck. So I'm playing Hafnium Legion, and I don't know how to perform a Legion. I haven't hit Legion yet. I'm still like in Link Joker arc. Okay, so I don't know what Legion is. I don't know how to perform a Legion, and so I'm like, this is so cool. This is so cool, and so. Against my fiance, I win every single game because in terms of card games, like I improve very quickly and I understand the rules of the games very quickly. So I win against her every single time, and I'm like, I'm so ready for the next time that people come to, like, you know, Starbucks. She's at regular Starbucks all the time, and so I would just sit around Starbucks all day waiting on them and waiting. And waiting, and waiting, and honestly, it was kind of scary to the point of obsessiveness. I'm not gonna lie. Looking back on it, oh my god, I had problems. I still have problems, but yeah. So looking back at it, like kind of weird. But at the same time, I'd always have the deck in my bag. I'd always have my laptop bag. I'd be ready anytime that, you know, I got the opportunity to play against them, and I would just wait. And I'd wait, and I'd wait. And eventually one day I just said, screw it, I'm taking them out of the bag. And it's like I'm just taking them, and like if I lose it, you know, it's just gonna money down the drain. No point in me doing this. So I took it out of the bag, and literally the exact same day, I have to call my fiance and be like, hey, please, can you bring me my deck? And so we're sitting in the car, and she's like trying to, because I have horrible anxiety. I have like horrible anxiety, horrible social anxiety, absolutely brutal social anxiety. So we're sitting in the car, and she's like having to talk me into going to play with them, because like I'm terrified of this. Okay, like I'm not really good at talking to people for prolonged periods of time, especially if I feel like there's going to be like a form of relationship that kind of bonds from there. Like whether it's, you know, teammates, whether it's practice mates, whether it's, you know, co-workers, friendships, etc. Like I'm not good at that. Short burst, yeah, short burst, definitely. But long burst, I'm not very good at that. So I'm like having horrible anxiety. She's having to talk to me, and so she's like, you know, like you're good at making friends. You just need to like stop overthinking it. And I'm like, okay. So she hypes me up to actually go in there and, like, you know, actually talk to him. I'm like, hey, would you mind if I played the next player? And all of them instantly look at me, and they're like, Scrub Lord, right? And truth be told, I was Scrub Lord. I was massive Scrub Lord. So they were playing, there was Aqua Force, Great Nature, and Angel Feather, I think is what it was. I remember specifically there was Aqua Force and Angel Feather, because Angel Feather, like we were talking about the ban, and then Aqua Force, because of what, or no, it was what was it? It's the one. It's the zoo that's not Mega Colony, and I think it's Great Nature. I don't know. I think it's Great Nature. We're gonna call it Great Nature. I don't think it's Great Nature though. I think it's the other one, but whatever. So there's the Bloom. We're just gonna call it Bloom, Asha, whatever you want to call it, because that's what it was. So it was Aqua Force, Bloom, and Angel Feather. So I play against the Aqua Force guy first, and I lose because you can Grade 2 Rush, and yeah, Hafnium can't stop Grade 2 Rush. Absolutely cannot stop Grade 2 Rush. So I ended up losing, but I play against the other player, the Asha player, next. And so the thing about Asha is she needs her Bloom. So if you can lock any of her circles, her Bloom is dead. And so I instantly shut down her circles, not knowing that that's how you counter the deck. And so we go for like 20 games that day. We just keep going and going and going and going. And like I'm like super tired. I'm exhausted, but I want to keep going. I don't want to stop. And so he's like super passionate about it too, because like I'm losing every single game I'm playing against him. But at the same time, I'm forcing him to play. Like I'm forcing him to think about it. I'm forcing out his guards, and I'm using a rogue deck. Like I'm not using Chaos, because at this point I didn't know Chaos existed. Like I hadn't hit that point where Chaos Breaker was in the anime. I didn't know Chaos existed. I'd seen like, you know, like I'd seen like Chaos like as a card. Like I'd heard about him as a card, but I hadn't heard about him as a deck. I figured it was just like kind of an engine, like, you know, like the Shadal engine or the yeah, whatever. You get me. So I didn't know he was an actual, like, you know, archetype. I figured it was just like kind of an engine you throw into a deck to make it run smoother. So I'd never bothered actually looking into it. So I'm over here using Hafnium, and I you not, the first game I play, I do all the actions to perform Legion. I pull out Radon, and I'm like, how do I Legion? And they all start laughing at me, and I start laughing too, because looking at hindsight, that's kind of funny. You know, you're sitting across from this kid, and this kid just says, hey, I perform said action, does all the actions to perform said action, and then proceeds to ask how to do said action. Okay, that's hilarious. You know, it's like, that's just funny. Okay, like, you know, I don't care who you are, that's a hilarious thing to do, right? So, I perform the action, and like, they explained to me, you know, it goes on the Vanguard circle, it counts as a Vanguard, but it's not your core Vanguard, you know, you can choose which Vanguard you want to use, blah, 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 you stride on top of it, you choose your heart, okay? So, like, okay. So they walk me through it, and they're like, hey, okay, here you go, here's the mechanic, blah, 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 right? I'm like, blah, 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 okay? And so they're like, blah, 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 and so we go all day. Like, literally, they normally left at like 3 or 4. They didn't leave until like 7, because we were having the time of our lives. I was losing every single game, but at the same time, they were having fun. I was having fun. And we kept playing, and we kept playing, and we kept playing. And it was probably like that interaction is what really like made me fall in love with Vanguard, because, you know, you always hear about the bad first experiences in a community. You always hear about, oh my god, I went to this community and this giant neckbeard OTK'd me with blah 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 blah. But this was just kind of like friends, like, you know, dicking around, having fun, you know, and that's like honestly what Vanguard really is just kind of like getting up with your friends and like just having fun. That's why it's like, you know, like it's just so nice to just kind of like have the ability to lay back and relax. If you guys somehow watch this video, the guys that were in the story, dude, you're awesome. I love you guys. You guys were so cool. It was Vallejo. I don't know if that. Yeah. You guys are so cool, and honestly, you guys have really made this game something I'm very passionate about and something that I enjoy playing so much. And honestly, I really don't know what would have happened if it weren't for you guys. Vanguard helped me through my breakups, like the separations with the, you know, engagements, and it's helped me through so much. And honestly, like, if it weren't for you guys, I would have never found that passion, I would have never found that love, and I would have never made the friends I've made. So yeah, you guys are goats, absolute goats, and honestly, you're like the goats of the goats. Like, in my eyes, you guys are so goated. You're goat. Like, you guys are like goated of the universe. Okay. So yeah. That being said, though, guys, if you guys want to see more story times, if you guys want to hear anything more, need to ramble more and more about how much I love something, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and tell me that I suck and that you guys are so much better at me than Vanguard, because you're probably right. That being said, though, this Chaos Main is out.
Enchanting. Okay. That's not funny. Yeah, that's not funny. No.
I'm quite positive that I
chance
have
to
never seen a
surrender.
miscreant as uncouth as you.
Your desire to drop
Stupendous!
awesome kill.
My
Great party.
apologies.
See you around.
My apologies.